We're going to cover the setup and clearance for our Type 3, the brass load, double feed, or feedway stoppage. Again, this can be caused by a multitude of reasons. Failure to extract after the round has been fired. The little extractor claw just slips off the brass, comes back, tries to pick up the next round off the magazine, but it's got nowhere to go. So that's the classic failure to extract. Weapons like rifles, sometimes the double feed is caused by the feed lips on the magazine spreading out. So the bolt carrier group comes back, picks up 2 rounds at the same time. Just the friction on the other one slides one up. So literally you have 2 rounds, both trying to make it in the same hole at the same time. And on pistols, when the magazine feed lips start to spread out, you're not going to have 2 rounds jump off the mag necessarily, but you'll have 1 round that goes cattywampus. Instead of going up the feed ramp normally, it'll hit, do maybe what's called a 3-point bind, or stand right up off the top of the magazine, slam forward. Obviously it's not going in the chamber if it's pointed up rather than in. So it can be caused by a multitude of different reasons. You've got to learn to see and assess all those little signs and figure out that this is a Type 3. Classification, brass load, double feed, feedway stoppage, or affectionately known by a multitude of schools, the mother of all malfunctions, because it takes some time to fix. If you're in a gunfight and you have a primary, when we get into the rifles, if we see a Type 3 and it takes a little bit while longer to clear, this is the time that you would transition from your primary and go to your secondary. It's faster. Or same thing with the handgun. If you've got one that's down and you're carrying a backup, go to your backup. It'll be quicker to go and employ another one than fix the Type 3 in the middle of the gunfight. So to set this up, using this as my downrange, range is clear, we'll present, and we will unload. Chamber check, mag check. If you guys start getting in the habit of doing this pinky retention right here, just as a quick administrative thing, this is also going to be what we're using in the malfunction clearance, so you can stick that magazine right there. As we roll the round out, locking the slide to the rear, since we need to lock it back anyway, we can take that round that we're going to use to set it up, right out, and put it down the barrel. As that goes down the barrel, keep the muzzle pointed down and away, not to muzzle ourselves. Take the magazine, insert it, and then as we're using live ammunition, ease the slide back up the catch, ease the slide forward. There's a slim chance, especially with 9mm, that live round hitting the primer of the one that's currently inside and having an open breech detonation. Now, we usually say, the likelihood of this is small. If you're taking loose brass off the ground, 1, it probably won't fit. 2, you'll probably be dumping a lot of dirt and stuff into your gun that doesn't need to be there. And for some weapons, again, you'll need to trip the trigger for the symptom of the dead trigger. Press the trigger, trigger is dead to the rear. This could be a Type 2 we talked about just a moment ago. And also the most common, emergency reload. Shooting the slide all the way in, or shooting it back to where the slide locks back on an empty magazine. We're also going to have a properly placed magazine on our primary pouch in the event that when we try to retain this one goes to the ground. We pull it out and it falls. Have a backup ready. If you're carrying an extra magazine, that's where it should be. So, we'll go through by the commands first. We'll point in, finger on the trigger, and press. Dead trigger, doesn't give you any information. Finger straight as you look and move to see what's up with your gun. You'll see a whole lot of nothing. Close up for those of you online. Brass load, double feed right there. So, as we tilt it up, we look inside. It's like a flashcard. It says Type 3. If you learn to see it, you can assess it real quickly. Next, we're going to need to lock the slide back. Pivot around so you guys can see. Your thumb should have already moved to the slide lock at this point, so you can be pulling up, pushing up on that, and as we ease it back, it's only going to go back about 1/4 of an inch, maybe less. That lock is going to eliminate the pressure off the slide to allow the magazine to come out a little bit easier. We'll extract the magazine, and if we've been training into index, goes right there in the tactical pinky, right between the pinky and the ring finger. From that point on now, we've got to clear it out. So at this point, we've moved, locked, stripped, retained, and now we're going to rack to clear the chamber. Aggressively, forward and back 3 times. We're not coming off of it, letting it go, racing back. Stay on it like you're ripping the gun apart. Now, if it worked, what did we have essentially? An empty gun. Guess what? This is right here, in, and reload. That's what we're going to do. So there might be up to like 13 different steps about this. But if you look at it as 4 overriding things. Something's wrong with my gun. I'm going to lock, clear, load. Lock it open, clear it out, load it up. Lock, clear, load. That's all we really need to do. We finish, back on target, back on trigger. We don't have an adversary, finger straight, down and move. All right, let's set that up again, and then we'll go through it one more time. Again, we'll chamber check, mag check. As we do that, get used to that tactical pinky. Extract that round right into a slide lock, also helps. You guys are training to do that slide lock efficiently. Round down the chamber. And magazine in place. Ease the slide back, ease the slide forward, and again, trip your triggers. So we'll go through it again by the commands. Type 3, we'll point in, hard focus, press. Dead trigger tells us finger straight, look and move. To lock, strip and retain, to clear, and last, load. No. All right, I'll set it up one more time. We'll go through it a little bit more efficiently. I want you to watch the gun in space, see where it stays the entire time as we do this. Type 3 on the go command. Shooter ready, go. Up, down, lock, strip, rack, insert, and rack. Was that efficient? That's all we needed it to do. All right, we'll finish it out. We're going to go to stripping and retaining, or we'll go to stripping and going to the next magazine after we do a few with retention. You guys have any questions? All right, let's do it.